Hey everybody, welcome to RefTime, powered by RTS and produced by Coraggio Media. I'm Tanya.
And I'm Crane. We'll be covering rules, plays, points of emphasis, and all things official. All right, we're back for another segment of RefTime in the studio today with the wonderful, great Juanita Goodwell.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Good. How you doing?
Excellent.
I'm doing okay.
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you.
It's been an ask for a while, and
Yes.
I'm glad we're able to get it done.
Well, busy coaches. We get you guys when we can.
Yeah.
Right.
We do.
Yeah, it is a busy time of the season. So
For all of us. So, Juanita, you've been in basketball, sports, for a good portion of your life, correct?
I have, yeah.
And we like to get coaches on from time to time just to talk about the officiating aspect, but we're going to cover a lot of different things. So I'm going to start with, when did you first get introduced to sports? You remember what age you were?
I was young. I was a tomboy growing up, so I was always outside playing, and that's why I can't cook today. So I've always just
I
been
taught you to
around sports.
boil water, though, didn't I?
Burn it.
Wow.
And
I tried.
I know. But yeah, so it's always been there. I've been around it. Just dabbled into every sport. We had a park across the street growing up. So
Where'd you grow up?
in Kansas City.
Kansas City, Kansas. That's why I always see you wearing that Kansas stuff.
Yeah.
You're a Kansas
always,
fan.
Yes.
Till death do you part.
Always. And the last 5 years have been kind of fun as
Yes.
a Kansas City Chiefs fan. So
Yeah, you got to love that quarterback.
I do.
So now you guys are best friends for a while. So,
Yep.
and it fits when she said you're a tomboy. That I didn't know you both grew up tomboys. So
Yeah.
that makes sense why you guys hung out a lot.
It was a natural connection. Just
You guys probably met tackling each other on the football field, didn't you?
no.
Juanita's thinking. She's like, did we?
On the basketball court.
On the well,
You guys
at
met
our
on the
job.
basketball
No,
court?
we met at our job. Because she was at the time she was working with the Magic program at the Wayne Township Trustee's office. This was back in 92, 93.
She don't want you to date her.
We don't have to say
It was
say
so
names.
many, so long ago.
Just a while ago.
So yeah,
Just a while ago.
And
Yesteryear, we'll call it that.
yeah, and I had just started there as a secretary. So
And she was new to the area,
Yeah.
from a small town,
Yes,
know.
very
Oh, she was
small.
from Denver.
Small town.
Denver.
2 people in there.
Denver, Indiana.
Or 2
You say
families.
two
2 families live there. So
Not quite
I had-
that small.
I
but
had to-
It was pretty small.
I had to.
You had to break her in.
Well, I had to keep an eye on her. So
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
And
she
we
tried.
just-
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't hear some of these stories. So why did she have to keep an eye on you, Tanya?
Well, because I was introduced to individuals that don't typically live in that small town. So, she was kind of helping me navigate certain
I don't understand.
scenarios.
Can you go deeper for us,
No,
please?
we cannot. We're here to talk about
Juanita, could you
basketball
go
and
deeper for us,
officiating.
please?
And,
So she just needed a little guidance, but we made but we definitely, that's where we met, and at the time we did have the Magic program there, which was a community program from the Wayne Township Trustee office that hosted different community events, and one of them was a basketball program.
Yep.
So
Okay.
And then she had actually moved out from there and took a position with a different organization. And so when her position became available, I actually took her position working with the Magic program.
Where'd you go from there, Juanita?
that was a short stint.
Was it the women's shelter?
Yeah, I went to
Yeah.
the YWCA Women's Shelter for a year, but I ended up coming back to run the 21st Century Scholars Program out of the Township Trustee office.
Okay.
And so, but yeah, the Magic program. I moved here when I was 18 to Kansas City. From Kansas City, and so my first stint of getting to know people was just getting involved. I volunteered as a coach in the Magic program my first summer up here, and I wasn't going to be able to play basketball anymore, so it was just something that interested me. I was listening to the radio station one night because really didn't have a lot of friends at that time. I had just moved here a couple of months, whatever, and I had heard a a radio spot looking for volunteers for the summer Magic basketball program, and that's what got me started with them. And then
what made you want to coach though? Because
I couldn't play. I couldn't
Okay.
play any longer,
Okay.
and I didn't really know people here to have pickup games and do all
okay.
that. So it just kept me involved in the game. I just love basketball, so I love sports. But I did make an attempt to try basketball. I did have a workout with, at the time, IPFW, and that didn't go anywhere. So that's where I went ahead and just said, my dreams of playing are done. Let me go ahead and just start coaching.
But backing up, did you play in high school?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had a good career in high school?
I did. I ended up with a knee injury the end of my junior year, and then I had to take that summer to do the rehab, and then coming back my senior year wasn't as quick, or I
as
lost some
explosive,
speed.
huh?
Yeah.
So
I lost
that's
some
what took
speed.
you out, was the injury?
Mm-hmm.
So being a coach now, that probably helps you when you're talking with certain kids who get injuries. You can kind of help them work through that psychologically.
Definitely, but I also let them know that we're following to the T.
Mm-hmm.
The protocol, the back to court training,
PT, all that.
PT, all that stuff, and I'm not going to entertain anything other than you following what's once it's turned over to our trainer or to the doctors, it's that we follow in that completely. Do not come back in here with anything and the other ideas.
Did you try to come back too early?
Yeah, is that the reason?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So personally that can be damaging going forward in their adult years. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just, so that definitely was one of the things that kept, me from being able to do anything further with it. But I love, coaching, love the game. And I liked at the time working with little kids.
Yeah. See, I didn't
now
know.
I can't work with little kids.
I didn't know
at the
that I
time
liked.
I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't even know that I liked kids at that time. Like, I was still a kid myself. I felt like, I was 19, 20 years old, starting out there, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I like kids.
Mm-hmm.
And went out there, went to the gym, and saw all these kids sitting in there. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of kids. But it was so much fun just getting out there playing around with them. And so that's what stuck me with it. But so you got into coaching from that aspect, but when did you actually get into coaching with the school system?
Well, that the career kind of took off. My job took off with the scholars program, and being kind of the responsibility of managing 8 counties and over 3,000 students and trying to get them ready for college.
Staff.
And staff, yeah. So it took some time before I kind of took a chance, probably about 5, 6 years. My first stint was at Kikianga Middle School. Pat Woods was the varsity or the 8th grade coach, and I came in to help her. And we had at that time Maria Marcasano was a 7th grader when I started there. So it was fun watching her.
That was a long time ago.
We don't need to reflect on the
It's the
timeline.
second time
we're
she's
talking
had to
about.
tell
Sorry.
you.
We're just
We're just
telling.
talking.
We don't
here.
need to do any math.
No math.
But it was fun. It was fun watching her, and I just bring that up because just see her now and the success that she's had in the coaching world, and what she's doing here locally. It's just fun to do that. But Kikianga was my first stint in the school, in the school realm. And
Were you there for 1 year?
I was there
or
for 2.
2.
I was
Okay.
there for 2, and then I went to Wayne for a year. Coach Smith brought me on for a year, but then I took almost a year and a half off to finish my degree, and then that's when I started at Southside in 2003.
So you went from Miami to Wayne?
Kikianga.
To Wayne.
Yeah, Kikianga to Wayne.
Now, you mentioned Mike Smith. Is he still around? Is he still in the school system, or did he retire?
Not
No,
sure.
I'm pretty sure he retired. I
thought he
think,
was
and I know
going to.
he's not coaching anymore. I haven't seen him for quite a while.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. He moved on.
But
All right.
yeah, I think that's when. So when you were out there, because I remember that's when I started kind of dabbling with coaching. Was at Wayne, and I wasn't really on the staff, but I would come out there and be a part of the practices. So it must have just been because you were there, and then went to Southside and helped out over there from there. So
I know we're not supposed to do math. I just got to ask. You guys were good friends through this whole process. Who's the oldest?
I am.
Oh, okay. I didn't mention math. I just asked. I
couldn't
behave.
answer that. I didn't remember.
That's the first sign of age when you don't remember things. You know.
It's
Just saying. All right, so
we stopped
you
talking about numbers a
I
long
know.
time ago.
so you've been coaching for how many years total now?
We said no numbers.
We got to do that number. How many years total coaching have you been doing?
I don't know.
Hard
I
to
can
keep
tell
up.
you that I've been at Southside since 2003.
Southside, 2000.
So that's 21 years.
Wow. You've been there since 2003.
I
Wow.
took over as head coach in 2009.
Now that's interesting. Did you ever think that you would last in a high school coaching position for 21 years?
Not
You didn't
maybe
think
that
about it.
number,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
mean, I definitely wanted to stay, at a location for a while.
Okay.
And now you coach basketball, but you also took a stint where you were coaching at Southside the softball girls.
Yeah.
And then were you coaching any other sport? I don't think that was it, right?
No.
Just softball and basketball.
So when I first got hired on, I was a freshman coach with the basketball team, and then that January, the AD approached me and said, "Hey, I know you play some softball. We don't have a coach. We take it, we take it at least a year and see if you like it, kind of thing." So I stuck around for about 9 years as the head coach.
I was going to say 3. It was 9 years?
Yeah, I don't remember it being 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 9 years. I stopped coaching the softball team in 2012 season. So I was coaching both so I took the head coaching basketball job in 2009, and I was coaching softball. So I did that for 2 seasons, and then
Nice.
decided I needed to stick just to basketball.
Wow.
So you took the softball position in 2003.
Yeah.
So Sydney would have been 3, and that's when I helped that year then, I think.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. So
So that was the first year you took over basketball. You also took over softball?
No. Softball was in 2003. That's when she became the coach for the softball
In the
team.
spring of, so it would have been 2004, spring
Three,
of
4,
2004.
Well, when did you take over basketball?
In 2009.
The head coach position.
Oh, you were
2009.
there prior as
Yes.
assistant.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my first year at Southside, I was a freshman coach, and then
Okay.
I did 5 years as the JV coach, and then Andy left, and I got the job.
So let's talk about a career highlight for you. Do you have anything in particular that stands out?
Just the squad that took us to state. I mean, they were a fun bunch of kids. As a freshman group for 4 years, it was nice to coach a team that just had some dogs and
Just got after it.
competitiveness and but had fun.
Yeah.
I mean, they just had fun with it. Like, that group, we continue to chat and stuff, and there's videos on YouTube.
Uh-oh.
And the Peppa Grindos, like they had a movement, they had a dance, they did, anywhere we went, they did a step show, like they were just a fun bunch of kids, but they worked hard, the hardest working kids I've ever had.
I can tell that you had fun with that group because your face lit up when you started talking about them.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
For 4 years. That from that freshman year, and then like Ariana Simmons, like nobody really kind of knew who she was. Like I was surprised to have, like who's this kid kind of
Right.
thing. And I put her on the varsity team as a freshman. She wasn't welcomed. And so she's like, Coach, can I go play JV? I have fun with the JV girls. And I'm like, yeah, I'll give you, give you some time, see how you do. Next 3 games, she's popping like 37 points. I said, brought her back in. I said, look, you won't have to get over it because I need you coming up to varsity. You're not staying on varsity. And like from there, just, and so that freshman squad, her freshman year, Linnea Noel, DeJoy Johnson, those 3 freshmen, their freshman year, led for having them 4 years, and then them being the example, the lead for everybody else beyond them for their time in high school. They just created an environment, atmosphere that just allowed us to be successful, but also just have a good time with it. We really like that. Those are my kids forever. Like those 4 years, I that group that I coached during that time, we were about each other.
What years were that? You remember?
That would have been 2000. I got her back when I first got the head coaching job, 2009.
Oh, so they went to about 2013.
13.
And then you guys went to state what year? 2013? Okay. Wow. That does sound like it's fun. And, when I think about reffing, when we ref kids like that, they got the dog in them. They're out there to just do the best they can playing the game they love without all that other
drama.
Yeah, I don't need all that. Boys or girls, it doesn't matter. But, yeah, you're right. When you have kids like that, the game is fun for the coaches and the refs.
I was reffing a game the other night, and the coach put 2 of his girls in, and he was like, oh, they don't get along. And I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, so I'm making them work together so that they have to figure it out. And I'm thinking, oh, man, girls.
Now, you got to deal with that on the court.
But they were fine. I mean, they didn't cause any problems or anything. But, I think, and as a coach, you have to go through that. It's like, I got to put these kids together. You got to figure out how to work together.
Which is really what sports is all about.
Yeah.
It's
learning how to deal with each other, teamwork. And
that reminds me of, this is probably the second season that during a pregame speech I give to the players, you probably know what I'm thinking about. After we get done with the coaches and we're talking to the players, I'll say, okay, you guys know who your problem players are? So you go know who they are, right? And the kids look at me and go, if you don't know, then you're one of them. And they kind of laugh, and then they'll look at each other and go, yeah, we know. I said, look, you take care of them so we don't have to. We didn't always have to give that speech before.
No.
But I think within the last 2 or 3 seasons, I've seen a change in the players and their attitudes. I mean, we all know the parents, the fans can act a fool, but I think it's trickled down. And so now you get that out of some of the players. And so I like to set the tone before the game. This is what I'm having, and these are the things I'm not having. Yeah. And they usually receive that pretty well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we usually do set the tone for the girls or for the players. So
we try.
But obviously they do have minds of their own, and things happen in the game and things
that they do.
So
Juanita, let me ask you this then. As far as rules go, what's a rule over your career that has been something that you have liked and another rule that you have not liked?
I guess I would, in regards to liking, the displacement calls, it's changed over time.
Yes,
but I've always been a believer of the women's game needing to be a little bit less regulated, because the girls need to be able to handle a little bit of contact.
Correct.
And,
we agree 100%.
And we had gone through that. So I would say kind of that has somewhat loosened in a way. And
what do you think has contributed to that? Why do you think that it's changed?
I think the women's game has just gotten a lot more attention and competitive. I mean,
so you want a more physical game?
Yeah, I mean, we need to have a more physical game. When I mean physical, I mean a girl can handle a bump. She didn't lose the ball; let her handle the bump, right?
Right.
You know, she's going to have to be able to do that. She's going to be able to have to, potentially do an and one, right? But that bump's going to be there. If it didn't cause her to lose the ball or it didn't, leave a mark. I mean, there's, she's tough.
Right.
It's a business. I mean, now though, you got kids who don't want the contact.
Right.
I mean, and you're supposed to be potential college, level, and like
it's a contact sport.
It's a rude awakening.
Yes.
So if obviously, I've coached teams that had next level players, and so I'm speaking from that level, right? Now I'm at a different point in our program where
Kind of rebuilding.
It's rebuilding. But I think it's still the same philosophy. If you're going to play in this competitive game, like if you just want Y ball material, then you go to the Y. But if you're going to play in this game, you're going to have to play, competitively, whether it's next level or not. Right.
I agree.
So that I think that just the evolution of the contact has been something that I think has been helpful to the women's game.
A rule that you don't like, or that was the rule you liked?
No, that's
That
the
was
rule I
the
liked, I
rule.
guess.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know, if there's a rule that I don't like. I mean, they've changed it. I mean, to me, it was just so unnecessary to be so heavily concerned about like the undergarments and the matching, the colors. Like it's like, dude, we're Kelly Green. Do you know how hard it is to find the Kelly Green undershirt to match our away jerseys? Or and it's just like the black fits just fine. We're not saying we want polka dots and all this craziness.
Right.
We just simple little thing. So with that change, so that would have been like the only rule that at the time, but it's evolved. So I mean, now it's where it's helpful to those teams that have uniforms that it's not an easy color match,
Well, it's a headache for us because we have to be the fashion police.
Right.
And we have to go over there and we have to go out there and enforce that stuff. And we're kind of looking at each other like, why do we care? Can we just play the game?
How do you like the new rule with the
4
reset?
points?
No, the reset of the quarters.
The fouls.
I like
The
it.
fouls.
I think it helps the game move.
I agree.
It helps the game move. So to me it's a good fix.
Yeah, that was something I really enjoyed. I mean, I think it actually flows better. We don't seem to be getting to the double bonus as much. I mean, it depends on the game, obviously, but it just seems like it has slowed down all those fouls. Right? So,
I think it makes teams play more honestly, play defense more honestly. I think it does. Backing up a little bit, when you were talking about. It made me think about the way we as refs call the game in girls basketball versus boys, and we talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to get your opinion as being a female coach. In girls basketball, the jump ball, talk to us about that. Do you think officials call it too quickly? You think we don't let
the tie-ups?
Right.
Yeah, because I think our style is to let them wrestle. As long as nobody's traveling, I'm gonna let them wrestle for the ball. Like you said, let them play strong. What is your view on that?
I think that it's I guess I don't have an issue with it.
Okay.
I think that I would say that it's obvious when it's locked. Right. I mean, when there's looseness, I say let it go.
Yeah. Okay.
But when it's locked, let's call it.
Let's call it. Move on.
Do you think we as officials do call the jump ball too quickly in this area?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't think so.
Okay. Good.
I mean, I haven't really experienced that. I mean, and we get a lot of jump balls.
Okay. Well, we've heard from other coaches that we do call it too quickly. So just wanted to get your opinion on that.
So okay, let's open that can of worms. What is a pet peeve?
You got to take a drink of water on that. Okay. That is water, isn't it?
You didn't have anything else.
We talked about that. What is a pet peeve that you have when it comes to officials on officiating. Just one. Because
I was say, do we have enough time?
I don't know. I don't think
she's got her list out.
Well, so you know how you say that you had this approach into the circles, you know, when you're either you're meeting with the coaches or you meet with the players. Right. I have also started to, you know, make an acknowledgement to officials in the pregame, in the huddle, that if I ask a question, it's not a level of disrespect.
You have said that before.
It is not a level of disrespect, right? And I just want to make sure that you understand that.
Yeah.
But here's why. You guys call the game differently. It is not consistent. A travel is not a travel.
What do you mean call
from one night to the next is what you're saying.
From one night to the next.
You mean different officials call it different?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, I'm coming back at you on that. Not yet, but I'm going to let you finish.
So for me during that time.
So you're talking about consistency.
I'm talking about consistency in the way that officials come one game to the next game.
Okay.
Right?
Consistency in calls.
So when I make that statement, it's really so that people understand, look, it's not a female's here just trying to harass you, right? I really want to know why that wasn't a foul.
Okay.
Because, you know, last night or the night before, you know, like, and so I just want to make, you know, the officials understand, like, if I'm asking, it's because I really need a legit answer to tell my girls how to approach that differently. Hey, he's not giving you that call because he sees you going east and west, not north and south. You're not making any attempt to the basket, right? And so just making sure that the officials know that it's not intended to be disrespectful. It truly is to be.
It's not personal.
It truly is to be coach for my girls.
Okay.
Right? You're going to officiate this differently. You're going to, you see, you know, you might be looking for something a little bit more than, you know. So just making that. So that would be the, you know, a pet peeve is what I would say, I don't see, you know, what we expect from Crane Hearn. I mean, we know we're going to get a carry call, right? So
I haven't called a carry call
in a minute, but
I haven't.
You haven't done a game of mine in a minute too. So, so I wouldn't know that. But when we know, so preparing for, we know who our officials are. We making sure that the girls understand. Look, you don't carry. Because this official will call that. Right.
That's fair.
So we know when officials what their tendencies are, you know, what they might be looking for. So we're trying that too. So that would be it. You know, it just is. So, and I don't know if there's a straight fix. It's just definitely.
No, I was going to say I think that's excellent because that's one of the, you know, we talk about basketball and officiating and all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that when coaches are preparing their teams to play against another team, you always prepare for their offense and their defense and how you're going to play against this one player or what, you know, whatever. But then we don't hear how you're preparing to play with those officials that you have assigned to your game because, as you said, we all officiate differently, but yet we're still very similar. I think. And it also you have to look at the flow of the game. Like one of our biggest things is let's try to get a flow, you know, because if I come out there and we're just blowing our whistle every 5 seconds, nobody's going to have fun. And so we have to figure out how to let there get to be a flow. But, you know, our coaches preparing, you know, diligently to, you know, work with those officials. Like, hey, we know this official caused this, or hey, we know, you know, whatever, you know, like with Tanya, hey, you got to have your jerseys tucked in. That's a big thing. Have your stuff tucked in. It's a simple ask.
And no
Just
jewelry.
Do it. No jewelry, you know, and those are two simple things that can be taken care of prior to the game. Other than that, I'm just out there to call the game.
Carriage over can be taken care of prior to the game too, can't it?
Yeah, babe. Yeah. So,
well, I don't know if I have an answer because you say there's no quick fix.
Right.
I guess the way I look at it is I don't see officials, I don't see us being consistent. I think officials are just as different as coaches are.
And the game is too inconsistent because again,
right. The kids are not consistent.
Yeah, you've got this team that comes out and they're playing great the first half. You're up by 20. I just heard of this game that the team was up by 22 points. It was 22-4 at halftime. The team lost 27-26.
The team that was up?
Yes. They only scored 4 points in the second half. And yet that coach is blaming the officials. And I'm thinking, well, what team was ever the first half and which team came out and played in the second half? Because I don't see an official having that big of an impact.
So, but okay, so if just kind of whether or not there's a conversation, and maybe it could be saved for another day because, but you don't think that the game has been called differently in two halves?
I think the game is being played differently, and therefore,
well, so because
it changes the way that because it's like, oh, well, now you're calling fouls, okay, but because the girls came out from halftime and whatever was said, and I'm just saying girls, I should say athletes in general,
mm-hmm.
They come out from the locker room and the coach said something that either ticked them off or put them in a good mood or did something or didn't do anything, and it's just a teenage thing. They come out and they just start playing differently, start playing more handsy, start doing things they weren't doing in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, and then yes, as officials, we do go in the locker room. We say, hey, number one, he seems like he's getting a little bit chippy out there. We might want to keep an eye on him. Maybe he's doing something a little dirty, maybe grabbing jerseys. We need to watch that. We talk about that, but it's not like we're saying, hey, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to zing him with 3 fouls real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, that's not what we're looking at. Our thing is manage the game. That's our biggest thing. We have to manage the game.
I don't know if I have an opinion. I get where you're coming from, and you're making a good point, but I don't know. To me, it's game per game.
Yes.
And as far as do we change in our officials, I don't think officials are consistent official to official anyway. I never thought that. I mean, if you look at me, you look at another official in Fort Wayne, I think we're two completely different ways we call the game. Plus, I'll call the game differently if I come into – I know I got a South Side. I know Juanita's going to be very, very verbal. I don't have a problem with that. Some officials do. Some
mm-hmm.
officials have a problem with having a coach who's loud and boisterous all the time. You've always been that way. I'm cool with it. I have no problem. I know that's just your coaching style. And then when you do yell at me, I'm looking at you, and you call me over, and you're going to tell me what you need, and I'm going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear. We're going to go on. I mean, to me, it's simple. But I guess the way I look at the game is when coaches or fans or players complain, I'm going, look, there's 3 areas we have nothing to do with. We have nothing to do with free throws. You've been complaining about getting a foul. Now you've been to the line 3 times. You've had 6 shots and you've missed 4 of them. Have nothing to do with that. We have nothing to do with turnovers. We have nothing to do with missed shots. So when people look at me and say, you missed 4 calls, I'm going, yeah, but y'all lost by 10 and you missed 15 free throws. So.
And we don't have anything to do with the play calling or the subs.
You just had to go there, didn't
well,
you?
You do when you give that
last foul.
foul.
I'm sorry. When that player earns
is that because she hit her, or is that because
she was just in the wrong place, wrong time?
She wasn't even on the court.
She just got looked at. She just got looked at.
We had that the other night.
I gotcha.
We had that the other night. A player was called for a foul.
But that's just my perspective.
The official reported the foul,
perspective.
And the coach yelled out, "He's not even in the game!" And we're like, literally, the guy is standing right there. Like, what are you talking? Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for it. I just think I love the game. I love this bantering that goes on even during the games. I'm like, I got Juanita tonight. She's gonna be yelling at me. Okay, it's gonna be interesting.
But and so I guess that's part of it too. Like my only thing is that in life we have to we have to play the moment, right? And that's why I tell the girls, you know, right now, just play the moment. Don't worry about what happened before. Don't worry about later, whatever. It's right now, right here in front of you. So I think that's also, something that needs to be kind of commonplace when it comes to officials coming into, like, you know, there's scratch list. I got not one name on that scratch list.
You do have?
I have one name on that scratch list. Right. And there's a reason for that, but I don't even pay attention to officials' names. I really don't. I don't want to know.
Then how you know Crane's gonna be there to call carry jewel?
Well, what I'm saying is, like, I don't know, like, those that we do haven't. I mean, I've been around for 20 years, right? I've been on the sideline for a minute, so I know who I know. But the ones that I don't know, I don't even want to know your name. You know, like, I want to be able to, you know, like,
just want to do your job and let them do theirs.
Well, but and so it's like I sit there and I'm thinking, like, okay, you know, so I got this, you know, this little rep or whatever, but I've changed, I've grown. The volume has, you know, like, you know, but it's passion, it's commitment, it's not, you know, whatever. But whatever happened that night happened that night. You got me on the next week. It's a different game.
Correct.
It's a different moment.
Right.
So tonight, let's just worry about this moment, not what happened in the past, not what happened down the road. I can't hold on to the fact that I thought you missed a call and then carry that into this game that you got me 2 weeks later.
Right.
Like, so why would you hang on to something that, oh, you was yelling at me? Like, no, dude, it was, if it was that serious, let's go get coffee. Like, if I offended you and hurt you so badly, let's go get coffee and let's talk about it.
Or maybe they need to get out of it because they're feelings.
But, you know, tonight is, you know, like, it's a whole different scenario. Like, I can't hang on to what I assume to be a bad call or whatever. Like, you are my official for tonight. I have to play this night with you. Correct. So let's have this moment. Yep. And so that, you know, and I don't know if that, you know, like, when it goes back to the pet peeve piece, I just think that, you know, like, perceptions or, you know, like, dude, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, you know, God willing, you know, like, I plan on being around for a minute. You know, my husband coaches and he's got a good thing going on over at Churubusco. He's got a couple of years and I'm not going to go anywhere. Right.
And speaking of him, we got to get him on too.
Yes.
So we'll be working towards that.
So, but if there's anybody that wants to get some coffee, let's go get some coffee. Let's, you know,
Tanya's always up for getting coffee. I'll tell you that right now.
Heal some things. Let's heal some things.
She don't want to heal anything. She just want to go get coffee. I'm just saying. But no, I think that was a great answer. I appreciate that. So we're going to have to close out now, but you want to talk a little bit about RTS, please?
Yep. So obviously we're still in a need of officials in all sports.
Non-sensitive officials.
Yes. Well, you're sensitive, though.
No, I'm not sensitive. I'm sensitive.
Okay.
There's a difference. I'm
all
sensitive.
Right, there's a difference. Okay. Anyway, so we still need officials. And obviously, Crane and I started referee training school about 13 years ago. We recruit, train, assign, observe, and
love on officials.
And love on our new officials.
Yes, we do.
And our officials that we've recruited over the last 13 years. So we will have training coming up for basketball and or volleyball. If you are interested in getting your license, we can help you with that. Check out reftrainingschool.com. And
just also...
You can also email us at reftrainingschool@gmail.com.
Correct. And keep your eye open for the next event for Hoosier 3-on-3. You see the billboard behind us. We'll have another one of those coming up, so just keep your eye on Hoosier3on3.com. We have another event coming up really, really soon. Other than that, just want to thank Coach Goodwell for joining us today. It's been a long time coming. Appreciate you having you on. Yeah. And maybe we can have you back.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Wish the Archers luck, Southside High School Archers.
Oh.
I didn't even go there. Why am I saying, it's Elmhurst. Elmhurst Trojans.
We didn't even say where I coached.
I know. That's why I said at the end, Archers. Southside Archers. We didn't. Okay, go ahead and tell them. Southside.
Southside?
It's just Southside High School.
Green. You still driving a green car?
I do not.
This coach was so into
13
it. She had
years.
a green car.
For 13 years.
She had a green coat. She had green shoes.
Dyed her hair green for a little while.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, we got to sign off on that. There's something wrong with that.
I have green eyes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
On occasion, I
She-
wear the green eyes.
She
just to
purchased
change
green
it up.
eyes. Yes, she did.
She is
Green shoes,
south side
socks.
down. You are committed. All right. Thanks for joining us, Coach Goodwell. It was a pleasure to have you.
I appreciate it. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Thanks again for listening to RefTime, powered by RefTrainingschool.com and Hoosier3on3.com. Produced by Coraggio Media, RefTime is recorded in WELT Studios in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne, Indiana.
To join RTS, visit RefTrainingschool.com. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Until next time.